Hey everybody, welcome. It's 11 a.m. and we're here to talk about what's going on to the market. My name is Andrew Lunsford. I'm the sales manager for the Southwest office. I want to thank such a nice turnout here. It looks like it's mostly Summerlin, Janet. What's going on? Unbelievable. Up here's Southwest people are coming in, Summerlin people are coming in, but I know that we have a big group that are watching online due to the COVID issues. But normally I try to dress up when I'm speaking. 99% of the time I'm always in jeans. But I was actually going to dress up just for Janet because she always asks me to dress up when she knows I'm always wearing jeans and sweatshirts and stuff. But as I was pulling my suit and tie out this morning, and actually, no kidding, I was actually pulling out a suit and tie. I even wore something besides, I polished these for you last night, Janet. No, I was pulling out a tie. But I looked in my closet, and today is the first day back for the Golden Knights to play the Kings tonight. And it's Veterans Appreciation Week, so I saw the Veterans jersey there. And then, does anybody know what this thing right here is?
It attaches your underwear.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? Anybody know?
No.
No hockey fans that know. This is an authentic jersey, not that I've ever played hockey in my life. That is called a fighting strap. It goes between the hockey player's legs and fastens on so they can't jerk the jersey over their head to fight them. So when I saw that, this is God's honest truth, Janet, I swear. I said, we're going to be talking about fighting to get our offers accepted today. What better visualization could I give you guys? The Golden Knights are coming back tonight. There's a fighting strap there. I hate wearing suits and ties. I'll put on nice shoes for Janet. We'll call it a day.
All right.
So that's my reason for doing that. So thanks everybody for coming. We got more people filtering in. At the end, I hope you guys know if you registered, Prosperity Lending and Shelley's providing us lunch today. We'll have her tell us things that are going on in her market, lending market side when we're done. This will be a short class and I want it to be interactive for you guys. I just want to tell you what I'm seeing going on in the market. Who knows how many weeks of current inventory we have?
4.
Yeah, 4. Now, let me ask you a question. Of that 4 weeks of current inventory we have, how many weeks of that inventory do you think is clouded? And by what I mean by clouded is crap listings that way overpriced, been on the market 3-4 months, 6 months. Some I've seen in there 2 years because I go through the inventory every single day. So if we have 50% of that market that are what I call clouded listings, pretty much nobody's going to buy because they're not realistic, we probably only have 2-3 weeks of actual inventory on the market. You think? Mm-hmm. You think it's going to get any better anytime soon? Mm-hmm. Probably not. I prospect for listings every single day of the week. It usually takes, I shouldn't say every single day because I normally take time off on Sunday to spend with family when I can. But I wanted to tell you about some of the last offers that I received and some things, me even being a former broker for Signature, I even had to go and ask Brandon questions. Is this legal? You know, can somebody do this? The last listing I posted was a Northwest listing in that I call it the sweet spot in that $300,000 range. If they're clean and neat, how quick are those things going? Hours. I mean, I had offers prior to showings on this listing. Offers prior to people showing, which I've never allowed before. I'm like, go show the house. People are like, no, I gotta be first. I gotta have this. I gotta have this. I had over 50 some showing requests the first day. Right here's 11 pages I was reviewing with V of cancellations on showing time. Now there's 3 each, there's 33. The reason I have these and wanted to bring them and take a look at them with you guys is the listing was offered all cash, 14-day quick close, 0 contingencies, 10% or more over what the home would appraise for. Who can compete with that? So the reason, what I did is after I had those listings, and by the way, V will review, we all know what's legal and not legal to do. We all know what we can do in our listing agreements, hopefully, what we can do and not review to multiple offer situations, disclose that. Buyer gives us permission, or the seller gives us permission to do that. And it got to the point to where agents are asking me, just tell me what you need. Where do I have to be? You know? And so is that fair to the, it doesn't matter if it's fair, if they're asking us, if the seller's asking us to do that, we have to do what's in their best interest, correct? And they're asking us, but can an FHA buyer compete? You know, I don't know. Can they? Do they have money in the pocket? We got to ask the questions. Can your buyer compete? Can a VA buyer compete on appraisal when it's 10% over? 0 money down? Probably not, because they don't want to come out of pocket the money and bridge that gap, right? But we still have to ask the question, what's fair for the buyer and what's fair for the seller, right? So what I did is after I got those multiple offers, and I want to tell you some of the things that were in those offers before, because I kind of teased it asking Brandon, is this legal? You know, some of the things I'm seeing coming out of California now, because there's a lot of cash money coming out of California now. I went through each scheduled showing time as a listing agent as a courtesy to the buyer's agents. And I want to encourage you guys to be friendly to not just listing agents, but if you're a listing agent, be friendly to the buyer's agents and realize what these buyer's agents are going through in the market right now. How many people have written multiple offers with no success? How many people have seen their buyers cry because they can't get their offers accepted? It's horrible. How do you educate them? We're going to talk about some ways to educate them as well, because right now I've turned down 2 buyers last week that have 0 chance of buying anything right now. Now, 6-8 months ago, I'd have been glad to have them. There's just not the inventory. If you have a buyer that has certain specific wants and needs in a certain price range, and it's not feasible at this point in time, do you spin your wheels showing them houses? Some agents will. I just choose not to. I tell them, this is where we're at. Come into my office. If you're a buyer, I'll give you some of my time. Come into my office. Let's sit down and let's put into the MLS what your wants are, okay? What your price range is. And let's look at the bottom and see how many listings we have. 0? Nothing? Now let's take away a couple of your wants, okay? Let's take away the swimming pool. Let's take away the downstairs bedroom. How many listings are there? 0? No, seriously, 0.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to spend time educating your clients that way. That way they're not pissed at you, okay? I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. I'm the best realtor in the world. I'm the beast realtor, okay? That's Sasquatch. That's, I don't know, we have some new agents in here. My legal middle name is Sasquatch, and I play off the beast and best terms, and I'm the beast realtor in town. You know, I can't help you today. How about I call you in 2 weeks and give you an update on where the market is? Okay? Learn to spend your time wisely. And guess what I'm doing for those clients that have those needs? I'm calling for listings to try to get them in those. And that's one thing that I would recommend you do, is talk to your signature agents and talk to your friends who are agents with other companies and say, what do you got coming? You know, is there any chance that I can see it? What day is it coming on? Can I be there at 12:01 a.m. the day it's coming on? You know, as long as it's fair to the seller and fair to the buyer and fair to the general public, you're okay. Now, we can do exclusive listings, and I'm going to let V talk about that in a minute. Do you want to talk about that now, V? Is that a good time about...
You tell me.
It's fine with me. I would love to hear
Whenever there's a good time in your...
right now.
All right.
So, visa resident expert, and what I want to encourage you guys to do is talk to signature agents, okay, inside the office, because that's the way you're going to be finding your listing, if you know the listing agents on what you have coming on and stuff. But it has to be fair to all parties, and I want visa resident expert on all rules, regulations, and since this is on camera, I'd like for her to advise you guys real quick on. Yeah, so I don't screw it up, exactly. Here.
I haven't had a microphone on this stage in
Man,
so long.
who's missing the Tuesday sales
Where's
meetings?
my
I'm missing those
song?
things. Yeah.
Where's my song, Shelley?
Play it, Shelley.
All right. I know. Where's Mary? Just dance to it. Girl, just dance to it. There it is. Okay, so a couple of things we've talked about in our sales meetings as well is an opportunity to work with one another, right? And I think that's going to be key in making sure that you have offers that are accepted, right? Let's keep it in the family type of thing, but make sure we do that in a way that doesn't break the code of ethics and violate code of ethics or NRS or NAC. So how do you do that? The couple of ways. One, as soon as you get a listing, you have a listing agreement, right? Now, I've had lots of conversations with the MLS about this. Janet and I have talked about this many, many times, is that 1 day rule, 1 business day rule. Does it start after the commencement date? Does it start after the final date that everybody signs? I believe that a contract is a contract and it's valid after everybody signs it. MLS has told me it's the commencement date. Now, our brokerage, we are going to go off of the date that's signed when it's fully executed. That's the date that you start. Your 1 business day starts. And if MLS has a problem with that, they can come talk to me because they won't give me a straight answer. So 1 business day is how long you have to get that property onto the MLS. Now, if you take a listing on a Friday, guys, what's 1 business day? Monday. Does that mean you can tell your fellow signature agents that there's a property coming up on the market on Monday and going live?
Yep.
Hell yeah, you can. What about the coming soon stuff, right? Even if you have the property in the MLS within that 1 business day, you have it in coming soon status. Now you've got that coming soon status timeline. Just remember, it cannot be at the detriment of a cooperating broker. So if I have a listing that's coming up and it's going to be in coming soon, and I allow Audrey to go look at it with her clients, you better damn well believe I'm going to let other agents from other companies go look at it as well, if it's in coming soon. If you do it to the detriment of a cooperating agent, you are going to get in trouble. That's exactly how you get in trouble on coming soons. Okay? So that's an opportunity. We talked about doing an office exclusive. So if you get an office exclusive, everybody knows what I'm talking about? It means that the property is not ready for public marketing. So if you do an office exclusive, there better not be a sign on the yard. You better not put it on Facebook and advertise it to the general public. You better not tell anybody else about it except for the office, which means it goes on signatures, agents of signature page, right? That office exclusive can be for a certain amount of time. And then if you choose, and by the way, again, it has to be in favor of the seller and the way that the seller wants it done. This is not your decision. It's always the seller's decision. You can't do anything to the detriment of the seller either, because you have a fiduciary responsibility to them to get them what's fair and the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of headache. We all agree on that? Yeah? So if the seller is okay with it, you can do an office exclusive for a week. They do this on high-end luxury properties all the time. You can do a office exclusive, and then you can convert it to a regular listing where it allows for public marketing. How do you do that, V, you ask? You get a change order form. Your change order form will then state when it turns from an office exclusive into a public marketing listing. I'm not done yet, but I will promise I will get to you. So once it turns into from an office exclusive to public marketing, then you can start publicly marketing it and put the sign out. You can also do that coming soon in the time being. All of that, your addendums for your listing agreements are what? I know someone's got the answer. This is one of those like weird, awkward moments. We've got an hour, I'll wait.
What was the question?
How do you change the listing agreement terms? MLS change order form. See, I knew you guys knew it. Don't be shy. I promise I won't yell at you if you're wrong. It is the MLS change order. That's how you make changes into the into your listing agreements. So when it goes from an office exclusive, you do that through an MLS change order form and convert it into a public marketing where the seller allows you to publicly market. And then you're going to ask, but V, I don't know how to do that with the verbiage. That's cool. You know how many brokers you have available to you?
A ton.
A shit ton.
Yeah.
Just ask one of us. We will help you with it. Question.
What is the benefit of the seller on an office exclusive?
That's what I was trying to explain, right? With sellers, sometimes, especially with high-end listings, the reason that I said they do this a lot on higher-end listings is because they have sellers that don't want anybody to know that they're selling their home because they're private. So for some sellers, it's almost it's like a non-negotiable for them. It has to be an office exclusive, right? It means that you're only telling certain people. Now, for the seller, you can have the discussion with them and say, I'd like the company to be able to show your property. Would you mind if we kept it as an office exclusive for a week? Now, if you don't get any showings within that week, then you hit it on the market officially for a week later. That's how you can do it without breaking the rules. Yes.
How long can you have an office exclusive?
I don't know about that. Do you know what the office, because coming soon is 30 days. Office exclusive can be the
It can be-
entire
yeah,
contract
it can-
time. Yeah, it can be the entire, so when they changed the listing agreement on us in April of last year, in the middle of a pandemic, and nobody knew, and all of a sudden there was a new listing agreement. You guys remember that? Yep, I had a good time with it. So I called the MLS and I was like, you guys can't do this to us. And then they changed the office exclusive form, and it was only allowed for the entire term of the listing agreement. And I made them put dates in there. I said, you have to be able to let us do it within a certain amount of time. And all of that verbiage, by the way, can be done through the listing agreement on the additional remarks. Yes, ma'am.
So the coming soon, let's say you go on a listing appointment today. They sign all the listing agreement, but they technically don't want it to hit the market till next Monday.
Okay.
Or whatever. Is that considered coming soon, but everything's signed?
So everything is signed. You have it, a fully executed document in your agent to agent, or in the additional remarks, or that coming soon addendum that we have in the transaction desk. You can put it as a coming soon, but it means it has to go into the MLS within 1 business day as a coming soon listing. And the way that you make it a coming soon listing is when you put in the beginning date of the listing agreement and the end date, the expiration date. Right in between, there's this thing called on market date. That on market date will only allow agents within the MLS to see that it's in coming soon status, and then it'll hit the market the moment the on market date is. So like if I do an MLS coming soon, and our market date is on Monday, it'll hit at like 12:01 a.m. on Monday. Yes.
And I believe, and I'm just asking, it keeps it off of Zillow and all those things until it
Correct.
gets on the market.
It doesn't allow it to go to public.
syndicated.
So unless you have a client who you set up on an auto save search and you've included the coming soon listings, nobody will know about it. It's meant only for agents. How many of you have put in listings in coming soon status and still gotten requests for showings? I know I have, because people aren't waiting for the homes to hit the market, are they? It's actually 5.3 weeks of inventory that we have right now. Still not enough. Still not enough.
Yeah, I've called coming soon and they're like, I already have 5 offers.
Correct. Right. So again, it can't be to the detriment of anyone. So I did an open house on one of my coming soon listings. And it was an accident. No, I didn't. It was an accident. So what happened was, and I'll tell y'all, I mean, you should learn from this, right? Right? I screw up sometimes, and it's okay. So I did. I had a coming soon listing. It was Thursday afternoon. The listing was actually going live on Friday. I had an open house set up for Saturday and Sunday already. And then I get a call from the attorney, from the probate attorney, that said, hey, the client can't sign any documents until February. And I said, wait, well, what? I have an open house this weekend. So I called the chair of the MLS and I said, hey, I've got an open house. It's already scheduled. It's a coming soon status. Is it okay if we do the open house? Is it allowed? And she said, yeah, absolutely. Cool. I let it go. I get a violation notice on Monday. You did an open house at the detriment of a cooperating broker. I said, no, I didn't. I said, it's an open house. It's open to everybody. Anybody could have walked in. If a buyer's agent wants to walk in, they could have seen the property. And so they removed the violation. I don't know if it's because it's me or what, but I've had other brokers call me about it and say, how the hell did you get away with that? So that's how I did it. But it can't, like I said, it cannot be at the detriment of a cooperating broker. That's the key. Questions? Comments? Answers? Yes, ma'am?
Just so I'm clear, so you take the listing and then you fill out this exclusive
Office exclusive form.
form?
Yep.
Okay, and then you put the date in there,
Correct.
so you don't have to go back and do a change order?
You do. If you put the, so you do have to, because your listing agreement allows you to do only one of two things. You can either do public marketing or you can do office exclusive. So section 18 is public marketing, section 21 is office exclusive. If your client allows you to do an office exclusive on section 21, they cannot allow you to do public marketing on section 18 of your listing agreement. So what you do is get the office exclusive, and then when the property is ready to go back on the market, you get an MLS change order form to change from an office exclusive into allowing public marketing. And it's something that you, the seller, and your broker sign. And you guys, by the way, the order for signs, for signatures, is always the client, then you, then your broker. If you send me something for signature before anybody else has signed it, I'm going to decline it. It's not getting signed until everybody else signs it. Right, Janet? Right. Janet said yes. Okay. Any other questions? Cool. I'm around if you have any questions. Later.
Yep, give it to Beta.
Beta, I'm done.
Perfect. Now we all know what the right way to do it is. You have a question on there? My thought is, make sure everything's fair for the cooperating broker, obviously. Make sure everything's fair for the seller and buyer. But I'd be telling everybody I could, at signature, I have a listing coming. Or if you're a buyer's agent, call up listing agents and say, I'm looking for a house in the Southwest. I'm looking for a house in the Northwest. Do you have anything coming? If so, can you shoot me an email when it's hitting the market so I know to get there? You guys are going to have to create relationships with people inside the company, and you're going to have to create the best relationships you can outside the company with cooperating brokers. I can tell you right now, just about every listing I've sold has been through to top agents. I can see a huge difference in the quality of offers and the way they're written between the agents I've known and grown to know over the past many years to somebody that's just coming in the market that doesn't have a clue what they're doing and no chance to help their clients out. One of the things that I did on the last listing that I was talking to, we had so many showings and so many offers. The best offer we had on the first day was 10% or so more than what the appraisal could bring. I know that market very, very well. I know the area very, very well. The last exact model match sold for $315,000 just a week before. Not much difference between the two properties. This offer was $340,000. Oh, it's not closed yet. This offer was a lot more. This offer was a lot more. 14-day quick close, all cash, waived all contingencies. No inspection, no appraisal, no nothing. So I have 36 people waiting to see the house. And I had 3 top offers, the 3 best, which were very similar. And I called the 3 top offers and I said, look, you have XYZ in your offer. You're behind. Can you do better? And by the way, and this is what I tell buyer's agents. I'm not double-ending the deal because I want them to feel comfortable. It's not my client buying the house. It's not someone else in my office that's contending with you, so they feel comfortable. And please go check when this goes into contingent status to see that I'm telling you the truth on everything that I say. And by the way, you can have a broker do an audit of a file if you feel like somebody's lying to you, because I think markets like this breed liars. But that's not the way Signature family does business. We're better than everybody else on everything we do. I truly believe that. That's why we have sit-downs like this. We want agents that does everything better than everybody else. So when I tell them, you know, please check on this. And by the way, the top 3 people, I knew all 3 of them. And all 3 of them, we've done business before. I didn't have to tell them that. And it's funny, as soon as I told them that, we're like, you don't have to tell me that. I know you. I know your character. And you need to create relationships like that. So getting back to the showing time on this offer. Now go ahead.
I mean, wouldn't that be just a seller multiple counter situation, or?
Seller doesn't want a multiple counter. What if they want highest and best? You know? And I'm going to tell you, the seller's multiple counter right now, other brokers and people may disagree, but me as a primary, I'm a buyer's agent too. Everybody should be everything to their client. But 75% of my business last year was listing agreements. And if you don't know the difference between, if you're not analyzing your business and determining what you are in the market, you'll never be a good agent. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You need to define where you're at, set goals for each, and that's a side product from this, but I know my numbers down to the T. I'm a 75% listing agent. So my focus is on listings. And I find that the seller's multiple counter offer is not as good as me getting permission from my clients, from my listing clients to say, can I have these conversations, all right, in writing? Can we let people know what the current offer is? You know, that's in your listing agreement as well. And can we start pitting people against each other? I would rather be the leader of the band. And I think the seller's multiple counter is not a leader of the band. I can do better for my client by having conversations with people. And that's where I was getting to with this. So once I had that super primo offer in my hand, and I knew the character of the agent and knew what they were, and knew, hey, this agent ain't backing out. I've done deals with them before. They really want this property. Okay? I went to showing time, and I think listing agents, Janet, I would encourage listing agents in Summerlin, and I talked to Brandon about this, and Brandon was like blown away. He's like, that's a heck of a good idea. I pulled everything that I had from showing time, and I started calling agents. I went down one to the other that were scheduled. I'm saying, hey, I'm the listing agent. I'm trying to save you time because I know what kind of market this is in. And I didn't get one bad review from one person. They were so thankful, all these buyer's agents. I'm like, I told you the spiel. This is what I've got. This is where we're at. Can your buyer compete? If you don't think they can compete and you call them, you let me know, and you cancel the showing time, or I'll cancel it for you. I don't want you spending your gas money. I don't want to spend your time. I don't want you spending the mental anguish of your clients that make a lowball offer, that think that they have a chance and there's zero chance of them getting accepted. You know, if it's a FHA versus cash that's 10% over list price with no contingencies, they can't compete. But we still have to ask the question. What if an FHA buyer does have cash in their pocket? What if a VA buyer does have cash? What if they can waive all these contingencies? We still need to be fair to everybody and ask the question. I find that if you ask the question and you go it that way, most buyer's agents are very appreciative. And by the way, I got 2 recruitment appointments for signature agents with buyers from different companies like, wow, I can't believe that you called me and asked me that question. Thank you for saving my time. And my spiel is, we always want to be better than anybody else. Are you considering making a change to in your brokerage? You know, as a sales manager, that's part of my job, is to promote signature. You know, I firmly believe, I've been with Signature since the very start. I think I was the 4th person hired, and I was with Brandon before that. I honestly believe there's no better brokerage in this entire town. There's no better family. We hire the best brokers. We hire people that are super connected and smart, like Vandana, like Chris Bishop, like Janet, like Tom. I almost choked on that one. But no, I'm kidding. I love Tom Blanchard. Yeah, but I truly believe that Brandon has surrounded us with the best people and the smartest people, and we want to make you guys that way. So it took me 4 hours to make all these calls, but I enjoy having conversations. And by the way, what am I doing with these buyer's agents? I'm networking and building opportunities that if they have a listing or if I can call them and they know the name Andrew Sasquatch Lunsford, which is not hard to forget, I'm building opportunities to where if I have an offer that goes to them, they appreciate the courtesy that I gave them on my listing. You've got to be doing those things. Agreed? Agreed. So we got to make ourselves better at what we do. Now, let me tell you some of the things that I saw in offers on this particular listing. I saw a couple of dual California and Nevada agents that held license in both California and Nevada. And I think we might be starting to see a shift of more of those because money coming from California is here, and they're trying to sell houses in California and then pick up the buyers and bring them here. And, good, they're hustling. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with their knowledge of the market sometimes, but that's okay. We can work around that. We can all be friendly. But let's talk about how we can make our offers look more attractive. And one of the things that I saw, and the thing that I had to go ask Brandon if this is legal, and I mulled it over for some time, the agent wrote in the offer that they would be waiving their co-op and offering to waive the co-op.
That was in the offer?
Mm-hmm. Legal, not legal?
Not legal.
It's not relevant.
That's not the place.
Actually, who said not relevant? Very good, not relevant. So we had the conversation. Now, obviously, she probably had a buyer broker agreement, and their buyer was willing to pay that fee. Creative, yes. Advantageous to my seller? No. Why is it not advantageous? It's $10,000 commission, right? Who owns the commission?
The broker.
The broker owns the commission. What happens to that waiver of commission? The co-op goes to the broker, the listing agent. So if it's a 6% listing, all of a sudden, they just gave me 3% more. Is that advantageous to my seller?
Yeah. No.
No.
But to you, yeah.
Not at all. I have to think, we have to think in what's advantageous to the seller. Go ahead.
I'm twitching here.
Go ahead. So we had this conversation with Brandon.
Thank you. Okay.
Before she starts, what would have been better for them to do? Just go up $10,000 on the price of the house. That's advantageous to the seller. That's not the other way's not advantageous. Go up $10,000 on the price of the house. Go ahead.
So first of all, commissions should never be in any contract. It should never be any counter. It should never be in any addendum. That is a violation of Code of Ethics, Standard Practice 1616. Look it up. I ain't lying. So you can't put it in the contract, first of all. So that's not. The other thing is that it could be advantageous to the seller if they had a discussion with you and you agreed to actually give that credit back to the seller for this offer.
I can agree on that.
In which case,
the buyer has to the broker has to waive that.
In which case, you would have to do a change order form with the seller to remove that additional 3% from the listing agreement. And there would have to be a co-op agreement between the agent brokerages, because we as a brokerage listed that 3% as a co-op in the MLS. And so we would have to remove that by doing a co-op agreement through Transaction Desk. There's actually one that changes your cooperative agreements between brokerages. So 2 things would have to happen at that time. Yeah, so it could be, but that's how you would do it. Questions? Yes?
Well, the listing agreement says you're gonna sell the property for 6% and 3% to the cooperative broker.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So
We're just informing the seller that that's where that's going, that additional 3% is going to a cooperating agent, and that's how we're listing it in the MLS. However, if that changes, if we get an offer from a buyer and the buyer's agent says, hey, I'm willing to waive that, let's get into some agreement that gets waived, and you agree as the listing agent to also then pass that savings to the seller, then there has to be a couple of forms that have to be filled out. So just do it the right way. But yes, you can do it. It just should never show up in an offer. It needs to be a discussion between brokerages.
I mean, wouldn't it be better, like Andrew said, just
Up the price.
up the price, and then the agent can just credit the buyer, you know, or whatever.
Absolutely.
After you-
Much better way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's other ways around it, but when he said is illegal, I'm twitching because no, it's not illegal, but it's unethical to put it in the contract. And could it be an advantage to the seller? So I just want to make sure that you also understand that yes, it could be an advantage if you do it the right way. That too. I give
You can have it.
You're next at some point.
So, once again, in this situation, not advantageous to the seller, okay? What other things are you guys seeing in there? Go ahead.
What, can you explain, I know we're not, is it not for Nevada, the escalation clause?
Not
Not allowed. Is in California, is not here. Used quite frequently in California, and that's what I'm saying. Some of the things that are being used in California for people who are not here, you're going to start seeing these in our contracts because they're used to using there and they're legal in different market, different rules. So,
What is the explanation?
go ahead.
Out of the meeting here, but who is buying in California? Everybody's selling and coming here. Who is buying?
I don't know, don't care. I don't have a California license. I know that the wildfires, from what I've talked to people there, this is what's happening in California right now. When insurance companies, let's say you have a house that's been a total loss in a wildfire or mudslide, whatever, a lot of these things are happening in California. When that happens, the insurance companies are giving them two options now. The first option is we will rebuild your house. However, after 2 years, you will be non-insurable with our company. Okay? And probably if it's non-insurable with that company, probably not insurable with the next company too. Or we'll give you XYZ and you can leave this property or this piece of land and go build wherever else you want to go. I think that's some of the money that's coming in here right now. Because if somebody's not going to insure my, and by the way, a shack in most places in California may be up to $1 million, you know, in some places. If I can take that money, come here and spend $500,000 and pocket $500,000, I'm probably going to do that. Better tax rates. I'm not going to get into politics or anything else, but it just is what it is. So those are some of the things that we're seeing. And some people may be exiting California based on tax rates, based on political changes that we saw just came up and other reasons. But regardless, I have a referral on a client right now that is selling in Hermosa Beach, selling a house that I would never pay what she's paying for. I actually sent it to a KW agent that I found, and I'm getting a referral, and she's coming here and buying in this month actually. It's going to be hard to find her what she wants, even with and she's going to be a cash buyer. But she has thoughts in her mind, and I've already had to walk her through, like I discussed, about what she can afford and what's available on the market. Even for some California buyers, there's just, the houses aren't there, what we need. What are some other creative ways? Go.
I lost a deal in Red Rock. The house was $750, and my client, you know, I thought, oh, well, you got to go on a list, yada yada. He was cash, and I lost it because there was multiple offers, and the other people, the person that got it, paid, and I don't know, and this is a question I have. They paid for the seller's transfer tax. They paid for the HOA demand, and they paid for their own home warranty.
Nothing wrong. Perfect.
Got it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's some of the things that I would just have the discussion
I
with.
learned a lot from that.
Yeah. So and I'm usually not $1 million listing agent, but I've been fortunate enough since November to do about 4 or 5. And really helps your numbers out at the end of the year, I'll tell you that, during the pandemic. And have one right now that's right at $1 million that sold in one day, all cash again. I sold $1 million homes in the same neighborhood. All of these homes sold within 2 days.
Right. It doesn't matter the price range.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts out there. So if these homes are selling, remember the pyramid we were taught when we first started? The most expensive homes, cut that off, that's how many buyers there are for them. And as you go down, as the price gets cheaper, it widens out and you have more and more buyers that are available. Well, I don't know. I'm not a rich man, but $1 million is a lot of money for a house for me. Apparently it's not a lot of money for a house for a lot of people. But if those houses are selling in 2 days, where are we going? If I had a crystal ball, I'd be a billionaire. I don't know where we're going. Hopefully we'll get the trends committee or somebody maybe in here. Maybe we can do that in your office, Janet, or somebody, to where we can find out exactly where we're going in the market. But yeah, never mind.
That's cute.
With prices going crazy and the quickness of sale on the market, what are you seeing in terms of problems with appraisals?
So it's funny because people are waiving the appraisal, and that's the concern that I have, to where certain buyers can't compete. That once again, back to calling these 33 agents. If somebody's waiving appraisal and they're paying 10%. If they don't have the cash in the bank, they don't have the cash in the bank. And these are the questions you've got to have to your buyers. Do you have the ability? And buyers don't want to hear that. It's funny, talking about all those offers I got, a few of those offers were asking under list price, asking for closing costs, asking to pay for home warranty, and these things. It's kind of laughable.
And they know that you have multiple offers.
Yeah, and they know. So is that agent, now granted, as an agent, in past markets, not this market, okay? In past markets, I would write a few of those offers and allow those buyers to learn by what I called scuffed knees. Let them fall down a little bit, skin their knees, and then they learn, and then I don't have to be the bad guy. It just is what it is with the market. Now, if you're going to be working with buyers, once again, I think the way I told you to do it, bring them in your office, get their price range and their list of wants, and let them see that big goose egg on the computer screen, and you start adjusting them from there. Your job as a real estate professional is to educate everyone, and you have to educate them or they're not valid buyers. And remember, I told you there's 2 buyers. I said, can't work with you right now. You have to be willing to say no. Now, I want to work with you, but this is the reason why. Do you understand, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer? Yeah, unfortunately I do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We have mentioned that asking prices are above the appraised value. How much would you consider going above the asking?
Not my decision.
The appraised value.
Not my decision. It's the buyer's decision. Your job's to educate.
No,
So
talking about the seller side. Imagine that you have.
seller wants as much as they can get.
But
Yeah.
how much is realistic? I mean, not realistic. I mean, how much people will pay above the appraised value? 10%? 15%?
It's-
Well, I don't think that, I mean, like, I had somebody who was willing to pay $20,000 above appraisal, and I had somebody who was
About
willing to pay
20,000, we said.
on a $600,000 house, right? But I have somebody who's like, I can't afford to pay any more than what the appraisal comes in at. So it'll depend on the buyer.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the listing side. If you had to list a property, I know, for example, a property that was listed for $685 and the appraised value was in the 6 something.
This
And then
guy
they
over
couldn't
here
stop.
had a buyer pay $20,000 above appraisal value.
I'm talking about 60,000
She's going to
or
pay 30,
80,000.
we got them down to 22 over.
On a
She left the house.
$260,000 house.
So this is a $300 and some thousand house. I can't tell you the exact amount, but it was over 10% of the what I believe the appraised value is. But once again, all cash, waived all
But
contingencies.
you listed it at what the current value is.
I did.
You didn't list it
No.
30% or
I listed it at a,
because realistically, if you list it at the price that it currently is market, or the current market's at, you're gonna get more people in the home.
absolutely, absolutely.
More bodies in the house in order to actually show the property.
I don't inflate listings. I go to listing appointments and I take my comps in there and I say, according to today, because I can't tell you what's happening tomorrow. I'm going to give you a 6-month time frame. And by the way, your exact model match, 4 houses up the street, sold for this, and it's the new high comp. Okay? Because I called the listing agent, and it's closing in a few days, and they gave me the scoop. Hold on. And then I take that information to the seller, and I say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is what it's going to appraise at. I feel confident. What do you want to list it at? And I tell them exactly what V advised you. It's better, in my opinion, to list it at the correct value, get as many eyes on it as we can see, and let the market bear what the market bears. And allow me, through the terms in the listing agreement, for me to bid people up for you. Okay? Now, did that answer your question? Do you have a question now?
No, because I mean, what about if you receive an offer for 350? Would you accept that offer, and then whenever the appraisal comes at 320, they will?
You're missing the point. The seller decides what they want to accept. I don't decide that.
You should advise. I mean, maybe this buyer will.
When we have multiple offers come in, I review all of them with them, and I think it would be idiotic for a seller not to take. You know, if they ask my opinion, what do you think I should do? 10% over list, 14-day quick close, no appraisal contingency, no home inspection contingency. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Okay? That's the extent of what I do, but it's still their decision. Yes?
I think what she's trying to say is that sometimes when you're working with buyers always say, well, what do you think I should do? How much should I go over? I mean, after you've explained to them how the market is,
So,
how challenging it is,
that-
they want to know, and they really want the property.
That-
They want you to kind of give them some advice on.
That's different. The buyer's agent should be calling the listing agent, and I'm going to tell you what the best listing agents did with the best offers. They called me up and said, where do I need to be? Okay? Where do I need to be? You know? Where is my starting point? What are the terms that your buyers want? Oh, by the way, 3 months rent back too. Free on this one as well. All those contingencies, all that price, stay in the house for a month. So I find out the good buyer's agents are saying, my buyer really wants to know, am I going to be able to compete in this situation or not? Where do I need to be? Once again, remember I told you, that's where we need to be better than everybody else. There's these type of situations. This is not a market that I like being in because there's liars out there.
Yeah.
Okay? There's liars out there. We're ethical. We're better than everybody else. Now, I'm not disparaging anybody else. I'm just saying human nature. There's good people. There's evil people. You know, people want to do whatever. Everybody we have, and I can tell you this much, if any of our management finds out somebody does something like that, I can guarantee you're gone in a day, right, V? I mean, there's no question about it. We don't hire liars. We don't want liars. We want honest, ethical agents at every facet. We're better than everybody else. Somebody had their hand up.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I was
Go.
just gonna say, because I'm licensed in Washington State too,
Mm-hmm.
and up there, it's ridiculous. I mean, they're doing 150, 200,000 over asking price.
Wow.
It's that
They're
bad.
doing that in California too.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Brandon about Utah. Somebody told me they have like a week's worth of inventory, and
No appraisals, 150,000
Yeah.
to 200,000 in California
Yeah,
above
it's just crazy.
price, above value. Yeah.
So what was your question?
Well, no, I was just gonna say, the thing that I've been struggling with a lot is if you don't have a good listing agent on the other side, it's like, that's it. You as a buyer's agent can only do so much if the other end, because that's what's been happening to me lately. It's like they have probably 5 other offers, 10 other offers, so they don't care. They don't answer their phone. They don't text you back. They don't care about it. They're just like, submit your best offer, and that's it. I'm not going to tell you what the seller wants or if there's anything specific that will make it better for them.
Well,
And then,
I feel bad for those listings agents because they're not doing a good job for their client.
So what I can tell you about that, by the way, is that if you don't know that listing agent, one of your brokers might reach out, and I might be able to get somebody you can't on the phone because I know them and my relationship.
She did that for me last year.
Huh?
You did that for me last year.
Sure she
I'm not going to
And I will
mention.
do that for any one of you. So anytime you have an agent you can't get a hold of, one of us might know them. Ask us.
But I'm just gonna piggyback, because you get those that just say, I can't tell you, just send them an offer.
And that's, yeah, and you're gonna get that, and that's fine, and
At least
then
they
you
answer.
can, and here's the thing,
Yeah,
and I
nothing.
don't know who said it, Todd might have said it, but the best scenario for your buyer is, look, we're not getting an answer from the listing agent, right? So I recommend you put in your highest and best. And your highest and best must be where you're not gonna be upset if the house sells for $500 more, then you didn't go up higher.
Yep. Will
You're
you?
not gonna cry about it, that needs to be your
Yeah.
highest and
Will
best.
you? That's my best line when I'm working with buyers. If you don't get this house, are you going to feel bad?
I also asked, if you do get this house, will you resent it, that you think you paid too much for it?
Yeah.
Right.
I had an offer like that scenario, the listing agent wasn't responding. So I called Chris, and he said, well, just CC me on the offer. And that worked. I mean, the minute I put the broker on, CC them on the offer, I got a response. So just for
Nobody wants to mess with Chris.
nobody. So I thought that was a good suggestion. It's a simple little solution, but if you know that that offer is going to the broker, might put you in the gear.
Every time that I think is, when I'm working with buyers, you get, when you're talking to listing agents, I mean, I try to be the Southern gentleman. I know Janet probably doesn't believe this, but I try to get more, honey, sweet talk, doing whatever I can. I don't go right into the question when they answer the phone, what do you got to have? I say, hey man, how's your day going? I try to build a rapport with them and relax them, and that's the behavioral science part of me, that I have from my prior training and everything is soften them before you go in for the blow, and people need to learn those skills, and I know you got it. Yeah. You don't want to go right in, and a lot of new buyers agents don't know that skill yet. And I would say if you don't know those skills, and I'm not harping to pull somebody on my team because I'm not hiring right now, I would suggest that if you don't have these skills, that you reach out to Brandon, you reach out to Chris, you reach out to V, you reach out to Janet, you reach out to Ellie Morse, you reach out to Brendan, or you reach out to one of the other sales managers, and you really focus the part of your business right now. If you're not making money, if you're not making money, you're not making money. If one of these team leaders or one of these sales managers or brokers can teach you so you make money, why not give up a little bit of it? Okay? And that's what I tell people. And that's not a pitch for me because I'm not bringing anybody in right now. So I'm just saying it's worth your time, and I don't know how many people is watching. If you're not making money, put yourself in a position with people who are going to teach you how to make money and get these things accepted. Now, we're running short on time because I see they set foods out. I want Shelley to be able to talk. Some of the creative ways that I see, we talked about transfer tax. Yes. You talked about HOA demand. Yes. You talk about free rent backs. Yes. Find out what they need. Anything you can do. I heard this from another agent. I don't know who it was. I'd have to think about it. But I'm not going to mention their name, but they're another company, another high-end agent. He was telling me, and he actually submitted an offer on this home and didn't get it, but we just had a long conversation. He's primarily a listing agent too, one of the top 250 agents in here. He said that one of the buyers offered to pay moving expenses for the sellers. That's pretty dang creative, you know.
They're not going that far.
You may not be going that far, but you may find out that other people are willing to go that far, and you know what you have to compete against. If somebody's going to pay, if somebody looks at their site and say, well, I got to move to Michigan and that's costing me $5,000 and I can't get it through, I can't add it in appraisal, but I don't know how you work that. But some of these situations are coming up and there's probably going to end up with a lot of ethics complaints. I don't know, Vonda's probably going to be busy. You know, there's situations out there that you just got to start scratching your head at right now. We got to think through them. So if you have situations like that you're not sure about, I'd probably be going to the one that knows the most I've ever seen. She's been around a long time too. She's 29 years old. She's been in this for at least, she's been in this at least 9 years. Any questions? Well, go ahead, Roy.
I understand supply and demand and all that, why it's so crazy, but in your opinion, why do you think that if people bought in 2013, 14, and they have 150, 250 into their house, why do you think they're not saying, hey, let's cash in, and why isn't there
They got no place else to go.
Where are they going to go?
Yeah. I have sellers on the fence right now because they're not leaving town.
Exactly. Where are they
Well,
going to go?
I think a lot of people are also nervous about what's gonna happen.
With the job.
With their job, like the idea of not knowing what's next freaks a couple of people out. So there's that, and then there's no homes to buy, right? And then you're competing in a market like this where if they sell their home, have 15 offers that come through, of which there's no appraisal contingency, all cash. They're like, I can't compete with that. That's gonna be me, right?
In every market, there's always a pitfall of a high market and a low market. Sell high, buy low. Well, when you're selling high, you're not buying low. Okay? You got to buy high. Okay? So the only other option is, and I talk to sellers like this all the time. You know, sellers are like, I feel like a crash is coming. I feel like a crash is coming. Buyers are like, I feel like a crash is coming. I feel like a crash is coming. If you really feel like a crash is coming, these are my favorite terms from when I played football. Short-term pain for long-term gain. And I use this with people all the time. You don't want to work out, you're not going to get the long-term gain. All right? You don't want to put in the sweat equity, no long-term gain. That short-term pain is fine. Now, how does that equate to real estate? Short-term pain means I may sell now at the height of the market, and I may have to go live in a crappy rental and move twice if I'm going to wait for something to fall. If you truly believe that, if you truly believe the market's going to fall, and I'm not going to tell them the market's going to fall because what don't I have? A crystal ball. Okay? I can't honestly tell them that. And by the way, we can't create a firestorm out there either, okay? We can't tell people it's going to fall. We don't have any knowledge it's going to fall. Do I think it might? I don't know. My gut tells me it might, but we got super low interest rates. You know, we got every reason that's driving it up. But if you truly believe that the market's going to fall, why would you not sell right now? And why would you not have some short-term pain for some long-term gain? And that's the way you can explain it to people.
What's going to happen with these appraisals? People are paying 30, 40, 50,000 over appraised value.
The appraisals go up. So I just had that happen in Marbella, the one I sold the $3 million homes in, okay? All of them cash. Pete Torciello, one of the best listing agents in the Northwest, lives in Marbella. He called me thanking me. He's like, dude, you're raising you may have to sell my house eventually. No, he said, he actually said that, you know. Had a long conversation with him. He's like, I cannot believe how crazy these people are. You know, the price per square foot in Marbella from when I lived there has gone from about 160, 170 to like 3, right at 3. It's nuts. Shelly had that one, the last house I had, she wanted it. She's like, I can't afford that. Yeah, that's my dream home, you know. Yeah.
15 car garage?
Yeah. Any more questions before? Last one, Audrey.
Okay, 2 quick questions. So in your scenario, you're the listing agent and then buying agents were calling you and they were asking you, so like, what do you need? What's going on? Are you telling them what your best offers are so far?
I tell them, this is what my seller is allowing me to tell you. We are here at this point in time. We are within this range, but in this particular case, I'm saying I have a very high offer, 10% over asking price. I don't give them exact figures. I try to give them a percentage because I don't want them coming in $1 over, okay? I have a 14-day close. I have no contingencies. My seller wants this offer, okay? They're saying this is their best. You're gonna have to be in the realm of there to compete.
Okay, so you're saying like the percentage more or less what the other offers were over, not an exact dollar amount. And then in the beginning,
If the seller gives you permission to say the exact dollar amount, say the exact dollar amount. I just like to deal in percentages because if my best offer is $350, I don't want somebody coming in at $351 or $350-100. You know, my job is to get the sellers the best they need to be. I'm not lying. Here's the range.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Shelley, thanks.
I'm going to say one word before Shelley does.
I hope this was beneficial to you guys. I hope you see the value in being part of the Signature family. I certainly see the value of being part of the family. You guys are my brothers and sisters in real estate. I love you all. My door is open for questions. If I'm busy, please don't be offended if I tell you I'm busy, but I will call you back or work you in the best way I can. I run my business the same way. I would encourage you, be better than everybody else. Make the effort to create relationships and make the effort to make people think that we at Signature, we do things right to create the atmosphere that we want more family members. Okay?
And a perfect segue to what I want to say. So, word on the street is that the governor's going to lift a lot of restrictions on the 15th. Can't tell you what they are, but probably be able to gather in larger groups. So if you don't have these networking people, these agents with other companies that you know, the one way to get those is to get on at least one LVR committee. And one of the most informative committee, Trends, of which our own Ellie Morris is vice chair, meets next Tuesday at 11, I think. I don't have any notes.
It's virtual though, right?
Huh?
It's all virtual.
Well, it's virtual this month. But I don't know about March. But if they haven't met this year, so if you sign in and are on camera for the Trends Committee meeting, you're automatically a member of that committee. And also next Thursday at 8:30 is Political Affairs. And then at, I believe, 11, I don't know, I don't have anything written down, is Young Professionals Network. You don't have to be under 40. But if that floats your boat, if you're interested in YPN, go to that. And when things open up, hopefully a little more in March, you will be able to network and meet other people. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Shelley.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Janet. So I would also encourage you to attend Trends. That, for me, that was really a great way for me to learn how to know the market, meet with a lot of different people. Even on Zoom, it's an opportunity for you to be able to collaborate and share with different leaders in the industry. I wanted to just take a moment before we break for food to share 5 ways that we can help you out as a lender in getting your buyers approved. One of those is just making sure that your buyer is pre-approved. I know it sounds silly, but in the last few weeks, I've actually gotten agents who are basically calling saying, hey, I'm putting an offer in, and I realize that the necessity to get an offer in, but they're not certain on how to write the offer, or they've already put it in and now they're trying to get their buyers pre-qualified. Go for a full pre-approval which is meaning that all of your borrowers' information, documentation, we've run credit, all that good stuff has been done. The other thing is, let us be a partner for you in that. Many times I'm calling the listing agent, talking to them as far as our buyer profile, but they'll open up to me. They'll tell me, hey, you know, we've got multiple offers. Your offer's like bottom because you didn't do this, or this, you know, your buyer's not offering this. So I take that information back. I don't know if this is right, if V's gonna start shaking in her boots also, but I'll take that information back and share that with my buyer's agent so that, you know, whether they decide to do it or not, at least they know where we stand. Or they sometimes will also share, like Andrew had said, what they're looking for as far as that's concerned. The number one thing is communication. Make sure that you're communicating with everybody. The other thing is, for those of you who don't know, we do offer a $1,000 lender credit for using one of our Prosperity Lending loan officers. If you haven't worked with a Prosperity Lending loan officer, please get with me today. There's 8. I actually have one here that's starting with us. His name is Dave Meyer. So get with me today, and I can share with you any of our contact information for the loan officers here. Something else as well is on your contingencies. Many times when I'm communicating with our buyers agents, one of the best ways is to speed up our contingency timeframes, right? So we've made some quick decisions on appraisals where we may have to, you know, expedite our appraisal, but the buyer's prepared for that. Our loan contingencies and making sure that we can tighten up the loan contingencies. Yeah. So the quickest I would say is going to be 3 days from the point of actually getting the contract and disclosures pulled. It costs money. It does cost money. Usually it's $150 to rush it. Correct. Yeah, and then I know there was a lot of question as far as appraisals. Buyers can pay over appraised value, even our FHA and VA borrowers. For most of our VA borrowers, they just have to write a hold harmless letter to us. But the number one thing, if you're going to be presenting an offer, make sure that you're talking to your lender and that you know that the client has money to pay that over appraised value. You know, that's going to be an automatic decline if we can't get it done because they can't come up with whatever that difference is. And then I would just encourage you to use one of our Prosperity Lending loan officers if you have any questions at all. David, myself, Tony, Bev, Gabby, Myra, Shannon, we're all here to help you in any way that we possibly can. So the food is here. If you have any questions, yeah, Jackie.
I have several clients that need like help getting to the point where they can qualify to purchase a house. Do you guys provide that type of help?
What do you mean by getting help?
Well, I mean with their credit and stuff.
Oh yeah. So we actually utilize what we call our simulator in regards to if we see a client who is maybe below to qualify for a specific program, we would work with them based on whatever it may be to help them increase their scores. Sometimes it's paying off debt, sometimes it's getting a new credit card, sometimes multiple different ways. I usually don't ship off our clients to credit companies only because I want to be in control of that. And so all of us have access to that tool to help improve credit. Great question. Any other questions? Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. And then I've also scheduled for my appraiser. I think we're bringing in 2 appraisers to come in. They're going to come in, I think it's the 16th or the 17th of this month. I believe we're going to try to have it out at Green Valley, but it will be an open session like this where we can talk about, I know a lot of people have questions on what it looks like, how we can, what it looks like from a market standpoint. I want to assure you as far as our appraisers, we handpick our appraisers. We have a panel, but most of our appraisers have been working with us for many years, and they'll tell us, this is what we're seeing in the market, this is what we're seeing, and so we'll have them here in person to ask any of your questions. So stay tuned and look out for that class.
So just to clarify,
yeah,
you guys will do the $1,000 lender credit?
We will.
For all, not just the first time?
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
And then 3-day appraisal from the day you got the first unit.
That's going to be a rush.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's any prosperity loan officer?
That is correct. Yeah, we can expedite it. So that's again communication, right? Letting us know that we need to have an expedited appraisal done. Even in the contingencies, I was on the phone with one of my agents, and they were countering back and forth. It was solely because of the loan contingencies, and she's like, "Can we get this done in 15 days?" And I was like, 18 maybe loan contingency, just because we had a short appraisal time frame. So allow us to be a partner with you in success to getting your buyers approved or getting your buyers into contract. Is that it? Yeah, you can absolutely get that done for sure. VA would be the only exception to that, but conventional FHA you can.
Shelley, you rock.
Thank you. Any other questions? Give it up for Janet, Andrew, and Vandana. Bye, everyone.